Here's what happened from my perspective.
Acho que é por causa
People,
daquele
please
sorvete
be
de
at
Mônica
peace
dando
and
certo.
love. My intention is to give this information as clearly as I can recall it. In order to figure out precisely what I've done incorrectly, I'm just searching for criticism. After all, nobody is flawless, and neither am I. Any input would be very welcomed, and thank you in advance. If you've made it this far, I congratulate you on your perseverance in reading my ramblings. As a point of comparison, I just recently celebrated my 5th year of recovery. The year is 2020 and I, 28M, met a lady, 21F, on a well-known dating app before all the COVID craziness started. We got along well and discovered that we both liked the same music, so we went to a little concert before the lockdowns began. I saw certain red flags, such as the age difference, the way she spoke about her ex, her prior relationship, her background, and a variety of other things. Because I'd been single for a long and we'd been seeing one other regularly, I figured, why not give it a shot? Lockdowns are in order. We began to see one other more and more often, and our friendship began to bloom. She used to drink and consume pot on a regular basis. The stereotypical party girl. She admitted to me that she had been in open relationships and had cheated in the past, and I informed her that I was not going to allow that, and that if she wanted to be with me, it would only be me and her. We would have heated discussions about our respective lives and spiritual views, as well as how we saw the world. We could have a debate on anything, Jesus. I remained, and we got to work on the situation. Being more tolerant of one another, attempting to be nice and caring toward one another, and putting differences aside. A few months later, we packed our belongings and relocated across the nation to begin our new life together. We found a little apartment that we liked and began working there, paying our bills, and generally being responsible for ourselves. She was having a difficult time establishing friends. I was always self-conscious since she had been involved with other women, and many of her friends had morphed into encounters with me. With hindsight, it appears that all we did was go on weekend trips to the mountains and fight about how angry I was all the time, and how she kept reaching out to people she had encountered. Her drinking increased, she began making friends with other people who were involved in the party scene, and I just didn't feel good about any of it. It all came to a head when her father came out to visit, and I was feeling extremely uncomfortable being stuck with a group of people who were constantly drinking alcohol. I've never liked her father, and never will. He was and continues to be a very hands-off dad who, in my opinion, just let her to do whatever she wanted as she grew up with little to no supervision or direction on her decisions. She also said that her father had allowed her to live with a 30-something man when she was 16 or 17 years old, which she described as a blessing. In any case, I didn't hang out with them for the remainder of that week. I had to go to work and attend meetings, so I used them as justifications. After another month has passed, we each returned to our home states to spend time with our respective family members. We had very completely split up by this time, and I had been ill for the better part of a week with a really nasty cold. This was the scene at Christmas last year. We returned to the combat and continued to fight. I discovered that she had been corresponding with a lady she had met on Bumble Friends, and had developed a strong interest to her. I attempted to reconcile by stating that I would work on myself and my anger, and the downward spiral started to take hold. Everything she did was justifiable in my eyes because of my rage. My rage had expressed itself as a result of her behaviors, as well as her determination to maintain her partying lifestyle while in a relationship with someone who was attempting to achieve sobriety. I always told her that if that's what she wanted to do, she should go ahead and do it, but I wasn't going to stay because I've seen what addiction can do to people's lives. Though I eventually left the flat, we remained in touch and attempted to make things work once again in the future. While we were having a lengthy discussion about honesty and how essential it was, she received a phone call from an unknown number with the area code we were in, which confirmed that it wasn't one of her pals from back home. When I challenged her, she said that, indeed, the man she had been chatting to was the one I was looking for. While we were attempting to correct the situation, it's also been a while since I've seen the neighbor since he's a great man, and I've never had a positive feeling from the guy. She managed to keep all of this a secret from me. I had to leave again. I'm not perfect, and I certainly could have been a lot kinder, or at the very least not a complete moron, during this whole process. I have a terrible propensity to take my frustrations out on others, even when they are the ones who have caused it. After about a month, she starts emailing me sad songs and tells me how much she misses being with me. I'm in a lot of pain right now. Getting back to my meetings, working extremely hard to reconnect spiritually and stop being a total loser, attempting to make new friends with some men who I could lean on and heal with, returning to the gym, going on hiking excursions with new people, and doing numerous other things to distract myself from my pain. My heart utterly crushed when I saw her in the park with my old neighbor, and I couldn't stop crying. I returned, we had reconciled, and we had agreed that we wanted to give it another go. We have disagreements here and there, but things have improved objectively as a result of my continual efforts to improve myself and pursue interests that I have. Then she comes at me with "I don't know anything about this anymore," and I ask who she has spoken with about it. However, when I peeked at her phone while she was outdoors, guess who was chatting to her ex again? She stated nothing unusual. Reconcile once again and go on. Now, we've returned to our respective home states, she with her family and I with mine, for the second time. And then she vanished without a trace. Now, I had a phone conversation yesterday from her, in which she said that she is unsure about this, that she wants to do what she wants to do, and that she does not like who I have become in order to please you. I understand her desire to have a good time and be a free spirit, I've been there myself. Do not, however, misrepresent a duck as an egg and expect me to believe you. Simply put, tell it like it is. I'm really enraged. I'm not surprised at all, logically speaking. Apparently, her colleague has just been dumped by her lover, and guess who was there to comfort her? My ex-girlfriend. It's strange how things worked out like way, only a few days apart, and this is what transpires. Now that we have to travel back together in a few days, I had a full breakdown last night when she sent me a good night text, and I called her everything in the book in an attempt to hurt her emotions intentionally. I'm completely aware that I'm not dealing with this well at all, but I'm so angry and heartbroken that I don't know how to deal with being deceived time and time again. Is there any chance of a reconciliation? It's probably better if I simply go on with my life and get over this period. It seems that I always choose the cheaters, which fuels my rage, which fuels the cheating, and so on and so forth in a never-ending loop. I'm completely at a loss on what to do. Is it my fault that this has happened? Is it my rage that motivates individuals to act in this manner? Can you tell me what I can do to be a better human being and break this vicious cycle? If I continue in this manner, I have a strong feeling that I will be compelled to drink once again. This is the end of my rant. Edit. Thank you to everyone for their kind thoughts. I'm not going to waste my time trying to solve this. I'm leaving. I'm going to move on and concentrate only on myself for a bit. In terms of expressing myself, I still have some work to do, but the next time I decide to do anything, I'll do it in a way that is more better for myself and my eventual spouse.